If you're looking for a family SUV, one that ticks the most amount of boxes for the most amount of people and has been around long enough to be considered a safe, if not the safest option, chances are you are probably looking at a Honda CR-V. I mean, it's been around since the mid-90s globally and in Malaysia since the early 2000s and is still going strong. So what we have with us today is the all-new 6th generation model. Hi everyone, it's Greg from WapCar and this is the 2024 Honda CR-V V all-wheel drive. So before we take a deep dive into this particular model, here's some overview info about the range. Now, the CR-V was launched in December last year with order books opening in November, and the range consists of 4 models. So right at the bottom, we get the S-Spec, that goes for 159,900 ringgit. And stepping up to the E-Spec, that goes for 169,900 ringgit. And then the V all-wheel drive, the one we have here today, that goes for 181,900 ringgit. And at the very top of the range sits the RSE HEV. That goes for 195,900 ringgit. And yes, you heard that right. We are getting a hybrid CR-V for the very first time. But more on that in a bit. The 2-litre naturally aspirated engine is no more with the new CR-V, so it's either turbo or hybrid power, and that right there is progress for you. In any case, the 1.5-litre turbocharged 4-cylinder engine puts out 193 horsepower and 243 Nm of torque paired to the usual Earth Dreams CVT. Now, power goes to the front wheels on the S and the E-Spec and to all 4 on the V. So the range-topping hybrid is where things get a bit spicier. Now we've got the same iMMD setup similar to the one seen in the Civic eHEV RS, where we've got a combination of an electric motor and a petrol engine. Now in this case, the 2-litre naturally aspirated Atkinson cycle engine functions mainly as a generator, with the electric motor doing most of the driving to the front wheels. I say mainly because the petrol engine can still join in at high speeds to improve efficiency. The electric motor itself generates 184 horsepower and 335 Nm of torque, paired to an eCVT driving the front wheels. So that's that. Now as for suspension, we get front McPherson struts, multi-links at the rear. E and V get 18-inch wheels and they come wrapped in 235/60 tires. Now in terms of overall design, it's quite a step up in my eyes at least. So you see up front, I find it looks a lot more chiseled compared to its predecessor, especially when you have this large mesh patterned grille. Now as for lighting, here's where things get interesting. We get automatic LED headlamps, front LED sequential turn signals and DRLs, they're standard across the board, whereas the E and above gets LED front fog lamps. Moving to the rear, I'm going to straight up say that it reminds me of another particular Swedish automaker, which is no bad thing because, compared to the predecessor, the rear of the Honda CR-V looks a lot more modern. Also, the V and above, well, they get chrome finishing on their twin tailpipes for a slightly sportier look. So, stepping into the interior, the first thing to notice is that it's a huge departure from the outgoing model. So gone is the rather pedestrian layout, and in place of it, an overarching design that's very much up to date with the latest Hondas all across. Now, in the S and the E versions, we get black honeycomb trim, while stepping up to the V gets us wood trim, as you can see right here, and then stepping up to the RS, well, that one gets aluminum finish silver inserts. So as for the S variant, that one gets fabric seats, while the E and beyond, we get black leather. Now the E and the V variants, they get a 7-inch semi-digital instrument cluster and this, a 9-inch touchscreen infotainment display with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Now where the V differs from the E is that the V adds on a couple of more features such as interior ambient lighting, a 360-degree camera and tire pressure monitoring system. This one, the third one, that's very much underrated in my books at least. Space-wise, at the back, it's usual Honda with their brilliant packaging. So for reference, I'm 6 feet tall and sitting behind myself, as you can see, there's plenty of leg room and feet room, so my feet can slide about. Here, all good. Headroom, it's decent. Alright, and another brilliant feature about the new one is that the rear seats now offer large degrees of adjustability, so you can get really comfortable on long journeys. Yeah, this is nice. Now, some of you may know that there's a 7-seat variant of the new CR-V, but unless you have a lot of children, I would rather have a much larger boot over the extra row of seats. That's just me. How big? Well, open the hands-free tailgate, available on the E and above, and you get 589 litres of space, which is more than enough for one large suitcase. You could fit maybe 1.5 suitcases inside. And you also get a full-size spare tyre. So yeah, all good. Now, in terms of safety kit, this is where I feel the new CR-V really proves its point, because we've got Honda sensing standard across the board with features such as adaptive cruise control with low speed follow, collision mitigation braking system, lane departure warning, lane keep assist, automatic high beams, amongst many others. No blind spot monitoring though, because stepping up to the E and above gets you Honda's trademark lane watch side camera system, as well as 4 front parking sensors. Elsewhere, Honda Connect Telematics is also standard across the range, and that one nets you features like geofencing, vehicular tracking, and remote start of the engine and the aircon, amongst many other connectivity features. So there you have it, folks. A walk around of the all-new 6th generation Honda CR-V, here in V all-wheel drive form. Now, I guess the million-dollar question remains. Can it bulldoze the competition and once again become the default family SUV of choice? Only time will tell. Because let's be frank, the predecessor was good, but in the face of newer, more polished competition, its age was starting to show. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Or, better yet, head on over to WapCar.my and compare it against the competition and see what you find. And on that note, I think it's time we call it a day. Thank you so much for joining me today. Do subscribe for more content like this. Take care, drive safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.